Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here with all of you once again. As a matter of fact, I look forward to this event. It's always, a really pleasant place to be, and it's a very, very nice experience for me, and it seems to be for all of us who are here. So again, I very much appreciate being with you. I very much appreciate listening to those last two speeches which were being made. I thought that they were both made very, very well. These are serious people who are sincere and honest and capable of doing the best kind of job that needs to be done on behalf of the people that they represent. And that's really what our government is supposed to do. Our government is supposed to focus its attention on people and the people's needs, and not on anything else. The needs of the people, that's the basic rationale for government, particularly this democratic Republican government. And we need to make sure that that continues to happen. We're facing a lot of serious problems right now nationally, as I think you know. And a lot of those problems have to do with the irresponsibility of the people in the White House, in Washington, and the corrupt ways in which they have operated and badly mismanaged this government. I was in Binghamton and Ithaca earlier today and had a couple of press conferences, one in each place, and talked about a number of things. One of the things I talked about briefly was an issue that's very important, and that has to do with Medicare and the way in which this administration is attempting to corrupt and eventually eliminate the entire Medicare program. You may remember how they put that prescription drug program into Medicare and then as a result of that, jacked up the price of Medicare, making it much more expensive and making it more difficult to sustain. Recently, we had a big fight with them in Washington when they tried to cut back the Medicare reimbursement for hospitals and physicians, which would in effect have drawn physicians and hospitals away from Medicare, and by doing so would have deprived many elderly people of the health care that they need, which is so critically important for them in their lives. Today we dealt with another issue because this administration once again is attempting to knock down Medicare by taking Medicare away from hospice. We know what hospices are. Hospices are very important. They're very important for a number of reasons, the most important of which is the last period of time in a lot of people's lives, to make sure that they get the appropriate care and attention. This administration is seeking to eliminate the Medicare funding for hospice. That would affect the hospice in Binghamton, it would affect the hospice in Ithaca, and hospices all around the country. And it would thereby deprive the people who need health care the most, elderly people, deprive them of the health care that they need. And one of the reasons they're attempting to eliminate the funding for hospices is because hospices save money. They reduce the cost of health care. They're so effective and efficient. And that runs contrary to the interests of this president and the people around him. They don't want a health care program that's going to reduce health care costs, particularly Medicare costs. They want a health care program that's going to increase Medicare costs so that they can make the argument that we can't afford Medicare any longer. That's been their principal objective. And we've seen that time and time again. We've also seen how they attempted to privatize Social Security. These are just two small examples of the way in which these kinds of people, these kinds of Republicans, these kinds of people who have taken the Republican Party and moved it closer and closer to fascism rather than republicanism, changing the whole aspect of that form of government. It's not like Abraham Lincoln anymore. It's not like Nelson Rockefeller anymore. It's totally different, totally right-wing, totally opposed to the vast majority of the American people. That's what's happening. And those are the kind of candidates that they're putting up for office. We had a discussion today talking about the problems with energy costs, how the price of gasoline has gone up so hugely, more than 4 times since this administration has taken office, and how the price of home heating oil this winter is up over $4 a gallon, and the impact that that's going to have on working people all across our country, but especially here in the northeastern part of the United States, as well as other places that get a little snow